There was a time when the political left argued against those opinions that they disagreed with, using logic and rationale. And even if you didn't agree with them, they would at least posit arguments to try and counter those which you held. I remember this. This was the case very much in the 70s and even in the 1980s. But things have changed, and particularly with the advent of social media, the left has taken a decided lurch further to the extreme. And it has now, for the last several years, adopted cancel culture as its primary weapon. And the way cancel culture works is, as you know, that they create their little mobs, be they on Twitter or Facebook, and they go after individuals. It's happened to me. They go after organizations, and that's exactly what's happening to GB News. Now, you may have, I'm sure you have picked up the fact that in recent days, since the launch of GB News, the the left have been organizing like mad to try and ensure that those companies who advertise on it, thus providing a revenue stream to GB News, they are targeted and pressurized to pull their advertising. So let's just have a look at this. This is the latest story. Major brands roll back on GB News ad boycott. So Money Supermarket, IKEA, Vodafone and Bosch have all backed down on the claims that they were going to blacklist GB News. And that's now trending on where else? The toxic sewer that is Twitter. And so we can sort of look into the details. Basically, Andrew Neil claimed that woke nonsense had reached the boardroom and called these capitalists useful idiots or useful idiots of bigots. Yeah, he's probably right about that, actually. Big business, these big brands actually had pulled their adverts from GB News under pressure from Stop Funding Hate activists. Now, Stop Funding Hate is an extremist organization which in itself should be removed from social media. All it does is it inculcates hatred itself. All these organizations, such as, you know, fighting Antifa is a good example of this. They're anti-fascist, but actually they're fascist. Stop Funding Hate, they're actually driven by hatred of those opinions that they do not like. So basically, Andrew Neil has used his own pulpit on GB News to fundamentally embarrass a lot of these organizations like IKEA, like Vodafone, who had pulled their advertising to reinstate, or at least they will now consider, I think that's the key word, they will now consider resuming media campaigns, having initially caved into agitators earlier this week. This is what the left's really good at. It's very good at organizing. The right is absolutely hopeless at organizing opposition. The left are very good about that. But as Neil says, it is quite remarkable that serious executives and well-established companies can be so easily cowed. They have all taken the knee to stop funding hate. It's important they and you realize to whom they are in thrall. So he's right in that regard. And these companies are, of course, all too easily swayed. But it is pretty good that GB News have hopefully getting this advertising. I don't particularly like GB News. It's incredibly pro-vaccine. I don't particularly like their attitude towards those who take a different view, but they shouldn't be strangled at birth by these extremist leftists running around with their little digital hate campaigns on Twitter. A couple of other stories actually just are worth pointing out. So here we go. A feminist artist is cancelled by the Royal Academy after 8 complaints about her blog calling a woman an adult human being. You got that, folks? You are now cancelled by this useless Royal Academy for suggesting a woman is an adult human being. A Vodafone worker told a customer in an online chat that it was boycotting GB News because the TV channel was promising to combat so-called cancel culture, leading to an apology by the mobile phone giant for their own worker. And meanwhile, Tesco, Co-op, Waitrose, Sainsbury's have removed the kaffir from lime leaves over complaints it's racist. So there you go, folks. That is the insane world we're living in. We have to fight back against it. We have to ridicule it. We have to mock it. We have to stand against it. We have to let them see that whatever they do, they're not going to shut us up. We've got all the arguments. We've got all the logic. We've got all the winning points of view. The left can't handle this. So all they do is essentially go into their rooms, cry, crawl onto the internet, and see who they can cancel. Well, it's not going to work. I hope GB News does continue to prosper, even though, as I say, I'm not a huge fan of it, and it certainly should not be cancelled by these toxic individuals. Well, at least that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the thread below, and catch up with you soon.